Hey everybody, p-brane here. What is going on, right? I mean, we're all in this. We're experiencing something we've never experienced before. This so-called pandemic. It's really a dem panic, if you want to know the truth. But and it's contrived. It's not a natural occurrence. But anyway, I just want you all to know, in case you don't know, I want to enlighten some people to the fact that this could be, it's actually a tactic, or it's the deep state or the Democrats in our country who are with the deep state, or who are the globalists, or the central bankers or the international bankers who own every country. You know, they lend money to every country. Well, they're trying to take out Trump because Trump said he's going to drain the swamp. And part of the swamp is these people. They are an international mafia, so to speak. You're right. They're a crime syndicate. The whole group of them, a crime cabal. So he, you know, when he was elected, he was going to drain the swamp, and so they've gone after him from day one. And with all the fake Russia thing, the fake dossier, the fake Ukrainian quid pro quo and all that nonsense. And it turned out that it's everything they've accused him of, they're doing themselves. It's classic Saul Alinsky, you know, accusing others what you yourself are doing. But so I just wanted to give you I wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on with how Trump became president and how he got into this. And this is whether this is all true, I don't know. Again, I'm just, you know, what I've observed and gleaned from the movement, the QAnon, and all these postings that they put up. But I'll just give it to you. You can take it or leave it. It's up to you. But I believe it's all true. So military intelligence, people in the military, patriots came to Trump and said, listen, we need you to run. We know you're a tough guy. You win. You know, you're art of the deal and all that, and we know you love the country. And you can go back and look at videos of Trump for 30 years. He's been talking about how America's being ripped off, and if he did run for president, he'd do a great job and all this, you know. And he was just speaking matter-of-factly, and he is doing a great job. He's awesome. Anyway, so they told him to run. They said there's a 16-year plan to take down the United States of America. It was 8 years with Obama, and then it was going to be 8 more with Hillary. And so, where was I going with that? So, you know, they were the ones, the military intelligence came to him and told him that, I think it was the admiral guy, can't remember his name, and told him that they were spying on him. And so he immediately moved out of Trump Tower and moved out to his place in New Jersey, his golf club. And so they have this plan to take them down. There's something like over 150,000 sealed indictments. So this pandemic thing, even though it may be a real virus, but we have flu viruses every year. You know, it's something like between 30 and 60,000 people a year die of flus. And so here's this flu, and yet we've never shut down the country. So right now they're trying to shut the country down. They want to shut the world down. And so this is what's going to happen. Trump is going to, and he's being measured. He's thinking this through. You can't shut down a country because the cure, the quote unquote cure, would be worse than the disease, right? If you cause everybody to lose their businesses and jobs and create a Great Depression of, you know, immense size and scope, you know, everybody's going to be suffering way worse than they are under this flu that we get every year. I mean, we would cease to be a country. You know, maybe this is their plan. That's why I have some of these memes right here. This is kind of a clue. Everybody's 33 years old, and there's 33 people, and 33 this, 33 that. This tells you that this is an operation. This is how they communicate with each other. And, you know, 33-degree Freemasonry is like the highest of the Freemasons or whatever. And so these are these globalist people. And so this tells you that this is an operation run by these folks. So they're trying to take. And so right now, since the impeachment failed, that's when this pandemic, this is when the coronavirus, COVID-19 started, right? So the media, who is also part of this international cabal of globalists, central bankers, being bought and paid for, and who we've been funding, by the way, for years and years and years. They've been sending, these politicians have been giving our money to countries like the Ukraine, and the Ukraine takes that money and puts it into NWOs, I think it's called, or NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and these people then, and these non-governmental organizations are, many of them are George Soros companies. And so then they take that money and they funnel it back to, or launder it back into these Democrats' bank accounts or their foundations, right? That's why they all have foundations. And they all have been and become so corrupt. Take the Clintons, for example. That's why, if you remember, Trump said, you know, she said, well, good thing you're not president, you know, with a temperament like you have. And he interrupted and said, because you'd be in jail. Everybody went crazy, but it was a great line. It was the line that I was like, yeah, I'm in for Trump. But they went into the White House they were not worth even $1 million, right? The Clintons. They are now worth $250 million, which is $250 million. They sell no product. They sell no services other than crooked services. They have no company, and yet they've become that rich because even with Hillary and her private server in her bathroom, where she was allowing the Chinese access to her server for money, pay for play, payola. You get to take information from the United States, top secret stuff, and they give her money, and it goes into her foundation. Now, another way that they launder money is book deals. You notice Obama got $1 million book deal, and this person got $1 million book deal. Every time they do something, that's another way they can hide the money and hide the payment back to them. So this is what's going on. So there's this concentrated effort to get Donald Trump out and to destroy the world, because order out of chaos, right? When I showed you the Freemasons at 33, their emblem like this is order out of chaos. So they want to create this huge chaos, and then they bring the order or New World Order into play, and they create their one world government. And as the scriptures tell you, that's going to be headed by Satan himself. He will be manifest in the flesh, much like Jesus was manifest in the flesh. And so anyway, so that's what's going on. And so when Trump says we got to get back to work, we got to get back to work, because the alternative is our country collapses, the world collapses, and that's what they want. And this is another flu. They don't collapse the country and cause everybody to stay home. And we've had SARS and Ebola and all these things that are way worse, right? And yet they did nothing about it. You know, to this extent. They didn't shut down our country. So they're trying to do it now. So understand that. Look, these are the optics of this. And so you can understand the backstory, the back channel of this. And this is what QAnon's been telling us for years, that this is the takedown. And they may even use this period right now where they're going to take down, you know, while Trump is saying, you know, stay home. He's got to give some of it. He has to go along with it, because they've already tried to use the 25th Amendment, saying he's unfit for office, he's out of his mind. Imagine if they're all the world quote-unquote experts are saying, you know, you've got to isolate, and this pandemic is going to wipe out the world. If Trump says, oh, it's a hoax. You know, that's why a lot of you think that, oh, he's not going after NASA right away. You can't just go right after them. They'll put you away. You understand? So he may end up in his next term, hopefully he gets reelected and we get the Congress and the Senate, but he's probably going to go after NASA too, because they are a deep state, corrupt. They've been robbing us for $20 billion a year, and giving us CGI and little rockets launching in the air. Big deal. It's all fake. And I'm going to show that in a video coming up, a NASA video that I'm going to do. But so I just wanted to show you that this is all this is what's happening behind the scenes. Yes, it may be a real virus. It's a real thing, let's say. But they're blowing it out, turning it into this big boogeyman monster, which it's not. And it's just like I think we had up to 70,000 deaths a year from the flu. You know, I think it's 22,000 or 25,000 this year of the flu. Way greater than this corona thing. So that's what's going on. The media's in on it. They are just as corrupt as the politicians and the globalists that want to take our country down. If Trump says go back to work and do whatever, you know, we should go back now. But he can't say it. We should have never closed businesses in the first place. But he couldn't do that because they would have just screamed he's insane and gotten everybody, yeah, he's got to get out, you know, and everybody would have gone crazy. So he went along with it, and I can tell he doesn't want to go along with it, but he has to go along with it a little bit. And we can all use some of the things that we've learned, the social distancing, washing hands a lot, just like we should do in flu season. Maybe everybody wouldn't get as sick. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, just keeping a little clearance, sneeze into your shirt. You know, I like to use, I'm wearing a t-shirt and I pull my collar up and I sneeze down into my chest and I cover my nose, my mouth and nose with my shirt. I pull it up over my nose, you know, so some people sneeze into their elbow, whatever. But whatever, just do stuff like that. And let's get back and don't let them win. Don't let them crush our country. Hillary's out there saying, oh, this is going to be at least 2-3 months. 2-3 months, our country will dissolve. The world's economies and countries will dissolve and fall apart. And then they will step in with their order out of the chaos they've created and take over. So you can't let them do that. Trump is the man. He's a patriot. I know so many flat earthers think, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Not the case here. It's not the case. And that's too simplistic, and it really ticks me off when people use that and say such a simplistic argument. It's way deeper than that. He's creating business and jobs. I mean, these are real effects on our life, that he's doing good stuff. He's getting this is showing the dependency we've had on China and these traders from Bill Clinton on down, who Bill Clinton to now, who created this NAFTA and all this garbage and have trashed our country. You know, they gave away our sovereignty, all our ability to manufacture. This was, you know, they sold us on this, it's a global economy nonsense, you know? So, anyway, I want to put out a flat earth video, but this is just so compelling right now. You know, I mean, to ignore this, I can't even get my head wrapped around flat earth at the moment. Even though, of course, this is part of it. This is part of their lie. Everything they do is a lie, these globalists, the cabal, I call them like the worldwide mafia that are running the worlds, running all the countries, and they run the world. So it's time to get on board with Trump, man. Trump's going to, they're working behind the scenes to take them down. So it may be a little bumpy ride for a minute, and he's going to get us back onto the gold standard, as I understand it. He's going to get us off of this fiat currency or whatever, this, you know, these Federal Reserve debt notes that, you know, and you know what's happened to other presidents that tried that. Lincoln and, darn, him, guy on the 20, Hamilton? I can't even think now who he was. Jackson. And so, in Jackson, and Kennedy tried to do something too. So anyway, that's it. But we can talk about this more if I get more inspired to do something, a video on this. Check out my store. I've got these. I got this mug. I priced it really low sale. I'm making $1.98 per mug if you buy one. But it's this one. I think it's cool. It's cute. I want to get one for sure. Your coffee would taste super yummy out of this. And I got some new flat earth shirts like this one. Very comic book looking. I love it. And this one with the big block letters. Super cool. Go check out my store, man. And I hope you all stay safe. Don't worry about this. It's just the flu, like the flu season. It's just, you know, keep your distance, wash your hands, and just, you know, use your common sense. You know, oh, one more thing. So it could be like car crashes, right? Look at the amount of car crashes every year. Imagine shutting down and saying, no more driving. You're not going to drive anymore because of all the car wrecks. Well, you can't do that. It would change fundamentally our lives. And we're not set up to do that. We're not set up to stop driving cars. Maybe if we all had farms, if we were back in the 1920s and 30s and early 20th century, maybe we could have transitioned back to the farm. Because if you take away cars, right? So it's the same thing. You can't crush all the businesses. We'll be grubbing for food in the ground, grubbing for worms like animals. You can't do that. So you got to get back to work and support President Trump as he gets us back to work. So what you do with cars, you learn to leave a following distance, a big following distance. You check your mirrors as you're driving. When you hit the brakes, look in your rear view, make sure the guy behind you is stopping. You can do a lot of things to prevent accidents. Well, the same goes for in the workplace or whatever, or in social gatherings. Do some things to help protect yourself. Keep away. You see someone sneezing, move away from them. Nobody will take it personally. We all know everybody doesn't want to spread, and if you sneeze into your shirt or leave the room, something. Okay, again, check out my shirts. Thanks a lot, man. We'll talk to you guys soon. All right, bye-bye.